Hi everybody, welcome to the channel, welcome to this video. You join me on top of the GSX S1000 GX, and what we decided to do was tell you all about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you for a little ride and tell you what we think of it and everything else. So far what we got, well, differences. It's got a few more modes on it that I don't know about. It's got the mirrors are in a different place. The screen is not mine. It's got lever bar guards, and it's got suspension that is to absolutely die for. This suspension is gorgeous, and yeah, it's got the same power. So really, as far as I know, the running gear is the same as mine, the gearbox is the same as mine. The only thing I've found so far, which is no detriment to the bike at the moment, because it has Dunlop tyres, and I've got no idea why they keep putting Dunlop tyres on the bikes, but Suzuki, I'm sure somewhere along the line you can explain that one away. So what do we got? We've got brakes are better. It's definitely the brakes are better. I'm going to keep this in the same red band as it should be for running in purposes, because it is well, it's only done 155 miles so far, so fair's fair. I wouldn't want anybody to take mine out and give it a right good ragging, and I don't need to anyway, because I know how they go. So what does it feel like? It feels very big. It feels, although when you're sitting on it, it feels the same as mine. When you're getting on it, I am literally on tiptoes. I am 6 foot, or nearly, but it counts, and I think that basically I'm on my tippy toes. So I'm hoping that or I'm thinking, what am I thinking? I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, basically I'm on my tiptoes. I'm 6 foot, so if you're shorter than me, then there's a good chance that you might struggle a little bit on it. This has got adaptive suspension, automatic suspension, whatever you want. It knows if you're 2 up, knows if you're solo, and it just adjusts itself accordingly. So this bike, I believe, is £15,500 on the road. 15,700. I'll put it up anyway. I'll put it in the comments and go from there. So yeah, it's 15,700 ish, and it's a little bit more expensive than the GT. However, the GT, this is obviously a different market. The way I feel the GT rides is more like a sports bike. I feel this is more I don't know, more adventure bike, more like V-Strom. That makes sense. Teresa likes it. I think she likes the colour scheme. So she's quite impressed. Yeah, this might be something I could actually change up to. I must admit that looking at it, the chain's a little bit rusty. It's only 150 mile, but then it is a demo bike and it does go through crud and crap like this. So yeah, it's only to be expected. It wasn't exactly clean. So poor thing's having a bit of an hard life. I don't know how long they've had it on demo for, but So we're going to go down some country lanes. There's a pheasant just diving into there. Yeah, we're going to nip down some country lanes, and so far the ride is like a magic carpet. Oh dear. Bless you, thank you. Yeah, it's very magic carpety, very soft and squidgy. Yeah, squidgy is a good word, isn't it? I like squidgy. So yeah, it's quite soft and squidgy. I like the height of the visibility, the height wise. I like that. Quite like that a lot. Fueling, as always, same as mine, perfect, spot on. Low revs, high revs, doesn't matter. Pulls in low gears, pulls in high gears. It's absolutely happy as Larry. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and do, is just get myself, you know, lost. Remember, we are talking real world review. We're not talking about taking it on a track day or anything like that. I'm not even interested in that. But I am interested in taking it down these gnarly little roads that we like to go and find. Me and Tez love this. You see all this beautiful countryside, you know what we're like on that, and see how it feels. And so far, I've got to say, the brakes are superb, absolutely superb. Do you know something though? What I will say is, you know, these mirrors being here, it feels cramped. This area feels really cramped. Yeah, I know it's very, very similar to mine, but it feels like I'm all bunched up. And I know I'm not, but it's just how the mirrors make me feel. But they're very good. I don't think they're in as good a position as mine are, if I'm honest. So GT wins on that. Yeah, for all these gnarly roads, I tell you what, it's a blooming good bike. The suspension is so soft, it's like a limo ride. I mean, I know these roads are awful, I know they are, and yeah, it's just drifting us over it, lovely. At the moment we're all around the little lanes in Creswell and everything, so if you do come this way, just be careful. There's loads of mud and crud and stones and gravel and everything else all over them, so just take it easy. But if you just want a little nibbly ride out, perfect. I got the same feeling with this as I had with mine when I had the Dunlop tyres on it. So I'm not being funny, guys, but if you're going to buy one of these, how to get your tyres in on part of the deal, just tell them to put something else on, whatever your favourites are. I know I've had comments that people turn around and say there's nothing wrong with Dunlops. Well, that's where we beg to differ, I'm afraid. What I like about these roads is, what you can do is you can just come round, you can gently potter along, and you're not burning too much fuel, you're not, you know, breaking any speed limits. There's nobody really to bother you. You might get the odd tractor or maybe the odd car that's out for a drive, and other than that, not really. So anyway, let's go back to the bike. How do I think it looks? I like the looks of it. It's pretty much similar to mine. I love it in this black and grey. I think it looks quite stunning, actually. I think if I was to have one, I'd probably go for this colour scheme. It's lovely to ride. It's quite nice being on a new bike again. Get that feeling. Oh, speed up. See how it deals with that. Yeah, it's like, it comes off you, boing, boing, boing. It's quite good. Yeah, beautiful. There's a pub down here. It used to be amazing, and I will be honest, the last time we came, not so much. But it's Elm Tree here, this pub. Yeah, it's really good. Lovely food, but it's become part and parcel of sort of all the others. Hey, that was good. Yeah, I don't think you'd have a problem really having this off-road for a bit, especially if you change the tyres, put some more off-roady tyres on it. I think you could have some fun with it. Thank you to Wheel Centre again for giving us the use of this bike. If you want Suzuki's, they've got other things in there as well. They've got quite a decent second-hand selection, and they do mopeds and scooters as well. So if that's your bag, you're going to always go and nip down and say hello. Mention us and you'll get no discounts at all. Not a penny. What else? Well, nothing else really to say. The brakes are massively improved, so I don't quite know why or what they've done or anything, whether to put different pads in it. I think I am going to have a go at getting some Brembo pads for mine and sticking them in. I think it's probably 150 quid well spent, because it's made a difference to every bike I've had that I've done it to. So yeah, honestly guys, this is so comfortable. However, it hasn't got the sportiness. You can feel it in the bends, you know, when you go into the bends. It's a bit like your front wheel's a bit further out there, and you know, instead of just laying in like mine does, it's a bit more sort of, it's not so flickable. It's more wallowy. You don't flick it, you wallow it. That makes any sense at all, which it probably doesn't. Plenty of them, plenty goes, no difference to mine. Feels exactly the same, if I'm honest. So all you'd be changing it for, if you've got a GT and you're looking at the GX, the only thing you're going to change it for is a bit more comfort on the suspension and a little bit more ride height, and I think that's about it. So I hope that helps you. If you've got a GT and looking at the GX, get on one, go and ride one, go and test it. Get yourself to your local dealer and take it out. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the ride. I really do. I mean, you've just seen us taking it through those little country lanes, and there's no issues with the handling. It doesn't... and let's be honest, this is what this is for really. As a touring bike, I would say this is excellent, and maybe, just maybe, it might be, as a touring bike, slightly better than the GT. Just for the comfort side of it, you might be able to do a few more miles in the day on it. Not promising, because I don't know. However, it is definitely more comfortable, and the brakes are better. However, there is more fork dive when you put the brakes on. The back suspension is really good, really good. Very impressed with that. Just the feel of it, and the rest of it, honestly, if you've got a GT, I don't know whether you'd be hard pushed to have a change. really don't. So we're just making our way into Clown. Trying not to come too far away, but I think I'm pretty much done now, to be honest with you. I don't think I can do much more on the video. I think I've told you all I can tell you. It's a beautiful bike, an absolutely beautiful bike. And going back to the old adage of would I spend my money on it? Right, if I hadn't bought the GT, and the GT, let's just say the GT didn't exist and I was still on a sports bike, then yes, I would buy this 100%. Would I change the GT for it? Not at the moment. However, if I was to decide to change the GT, I would probably plump for this, if I'm honest. Just because of the comfort side of it. Gearbox is the same, slick as anything, beautiful. The dash, yeah, there are extras on here. I don't know what they are, I'll be honest with you, so I can't really talk about them. However, obviously if you were going to buy one, you'd look into it. And also, this was kind of a whim. I did it yesterday, they told me they got one in, so I went, well yeah, I'll come down and ride it. So as a whim, to be fair, you just got to trust it, push the handlebars and it just drops in. These Dunlop tyres are very hard though, there's not a lot of giving them. So I think with a decent set of tyres on it and my screen changed like I've done on mine, because this is very blowy, I think I'd be very happy. So, things I would do. First thing is change that screen. I'm getting a lot of noise in my helmet. So yes, I would definitely change the screen. The mirrors I would get used to, like you would anything else. I do like the handguards, and I have actually thought about getting some for the GT. So yeah, I think I've pretty much done my verdict, haven't I? Would I purchase one? If they didn't have the GT, then I probably would. Do I prefer it to the GT? There you go, there's a new one. No, I don't prefer it to the GT because they are different in different ways. The GT I feel is more on the sports bike side. This I would say is more on the V-Strom side. But yeah, you know, if you just... yeah, she's not a quick turning bike, okay? So I don't think she is going to go... I wouldn't recommend a track day on it. I'm not saying you couldn't do it, because you can. Let's be honest, you can do anything you want with any bike. But I wouldn't buy it in association to thinking, oh, I'll do a track day. So there's your first thing. My next thing, where's mine? I would. Alright. However, if I was going down to the south of France or Spain or something like that, I think I would probably prefer this. And because of that suspension being automatically adjustable, you can put your luggage on it and it's going to automatically adjust, and you can have the same ride as you are if you don't adjust it. Whereas on mine, you kind of would have to allow for the luggage and adjust the suspension, which is no big deal. It is very similar to the GT, as in very hard to hold back. 30 mile an hour seem to be not hard work, that wouldn't be fair. But you know, to keep it down, you've got to keep an eye on it. Yeah, gearbox dead slick, beautiful in fact. Yeah, go out and test ride one, folks. Listen, thank you so much for joining me on this. I've really enjoyed riding this bike for a little that I've ridden it. I haven't ridden it for a long time. A couple of things, there's no backlit switchgear, and not seeing any heated grips either, which is a bit of a surprise. So I will ask, but at the moment I'm going to say no heated grips again. Suzuki, you've given us an absolute perfect touring bike. What are you doing? Why no heated grips? Why have you got to pay extra? Mind you, I'm looking at it another way. I'm not being funny. You go and buy a BMW and the first thing you've got to do is stack it full of extras, aren't you? Whereas you go and buy a Suzuki, you want heated grips, you've got to find a couple of £100. Yeah, these tyres are yeah, bleh. Bleh. So I suppose if you look at it that way, maybe it's not so bad. I mean, I'm not sure whether if you buy the Plus model, because there is a Plus model which you get the panniers with, I'm not sure whether that would make a difference, to be honest with you. It has also got the rack for a top box, so you could just put your top box thing straight on it. So that would be obviously something that you haven't got to buy. So there's a few pluses, but yeah, I highly recommend you go and try one. I mean, she's purring at 30 and 4th, absolutely loving it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's giving you a bit of an insight to the bike. It's a bit bitty and bobby, unfortunately. It's not quite as I wanted it to be. I'd like to take it on a decent long run. However, to be honest with you, the run that I've done, I'm quite happy with. Just something to be aware of, I'll drop this in. If you test ride a bike at 2 wheels, you need your licence, your national insurance number, and you do sign up that it's £1,000 excess. If you damage the bike, it's £1,000. Obviously it's not your fault, I'm sure you get that back. Okay everybody, we're back at Two Wheel Centre. Let's have a little sum up on this bike. So from a riding point of view, it's got the automatic suspension and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love the fact that it's high up, you get a better view and it feels more above everybody, you get to see more from the road. Also I tended to find that I did feel a little bit cramped on it, but I think that's just because of the way the mirrors are, they brought them in. So Taz, do you want to come in? What do you think?
For me? Freaking awesome.
You like it that much?
It's nice, yeah. Suzuki's done a good job.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that together at last.
I think it's more on the TL front. Anyway. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
Oh, that's the most important thing for you, isn't it? Being able to see.
I can see better on this than I can ours.
Yeah, it is a bit higher up. Yeah. It is actually better for that.
My seat's bigger than this. Maybe. But,
maybe.
Yeah, it's still comfortable, isn't it?
I'd agree. So we'll sum it up then. Thumbs up.
My only issue was because of where the pegs are and everything. Because I'm used to top box.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, and even though you've got this, I'm sat right on the edge of this.
All right.
Otherwise, if I come this way, I'm going to hit your helmet.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of times we were quite close. Yeah. I did find it a little bit more cramped, but maybe.
I love it.
Cool. Yeah. Thumbs up then. Well done, Suzuki. Come and try one.
Yeah.
Looks like it's well worth a go. So if you're not. This is much more the sporty bike, I think. The other one's much more. It's not. I don't think it's quite an adventure bike. It's not quite there. It's in between this and a full adventure bike. However, I wasn't actually going to come down on ours, and I was going to come down in the car, but I'm so glad we have, because now I can do a really good comparison. Right, my handlebars feel like I'm doing that, whereas on the GX it's like that, so I'm like tucked in, and I did feel like I've got less room. I also think that the pegs are higher, which Tez has said as well on the GX. Calm down. It's just went into panic mode because I looked in the window. Yeah, the GX is, I think the pegs are a little bit higher. Tess said she felt that that was more like a play bike, not a touring bike for her on the back. So I think this is one you really are going to have to go and try it out for yourselves. I think if you're coming off a sports bike, you wouldn't be disappointed. But if you're coming off a GT, I don't think you want to be swapping your GT for a GX, and I would imagine if you've got a GX you probably wouldn't want to be swapping it for a GT. So I think everybody, you need to pretty much make your own minds up, and I hope we've been some help to you today. I really do. I think this is more exciting. The GT is more exciting myself. And obviously this has done a lot more miles, a bit more running, gearbox is slicker, engine's gorgeous. So, you know, your comparisons on those are not going to be much different. I think they're about the same running gear and everything, so it's not a big deal. And once you've run it in, you do need to change the tyres. If you're buying a GT or a GX, budget for a set of tyres on it. The best thing you can do is take them Dunlops off and sell them to somebody knock out on a track day or something. They won't do very quick laps on them, but you know, at least you've got a cheap set of tyres from somewhere. That's all I'm doing with mine. I was actually going to give them away, but to be honest with you, I bet they end up staying in the garage. So back to where we are. I actually prefer the mirrors out there, even though it's something I didn't like when I first bought the bike. I actually prefer them out there. I seem to have better peripheral vision. I don't feel like I'm hunched up like I was. Yeah, it's just, for me, the GT is the better, is a more of a sporty bike. So I would say, if you're coming off a sports bike, test ride them both, make your own mind up. The suspension on the GX is superb. It really is something to behold. It's like, it reminds me of the BMW's electronic suspension. It does everything and it monitors everything. However, there's a lot more fork dive on it. The GT feels smaller as a whole. If that makes any sense, it just feels a little bit, as a bike it feels smaller, yet the riding position feels more roomy. Listen, I hope this helps. I hope it works out. I hope you can get something from what we've not really come up with, and just go and try them both for yourselves. But now I've got back on the GT, I wouldn't buy the GX. However, when I sat on the GX, I would happily have bought it. The GX comes in at just under 15 grand on the road, so it's not that expensive really compared to a lot of other manufacturers. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You take care, look after yourselves. We'll see you in a future video and wish you all the very best. Remember guys, ride safe, be kind, be careful, and just look after yourselves. Bye bye.